Well guys, the episode we've all been waiting for, and it was special. Leonardo 2003 here, and I didn't expect to see the Shredder this early in the series, but here we are. He has been resurrected. I hope you guys were able to watch this one because it definitely made watching all of those filler episodes so worth it. Before I start the review, I want to give a little shout out to Reggie Art on Instagram for sending in this awesome Leonardo art that he did. Definitely check out his page, and if you want to be featured in a future video, just Instagram message me cool TMNT related drawings, collections, or anything TMNT related really from your collection. But we have so much to unpack from this episode, guys, so let's not waste any more time. Let's break down episode 16 of Rise of the TMNT, Shadow of Evil. We start off near a local middle school where Baron Draxum is on the surface and is wreaking havoc. Right off the bat, we see what may or may not be Bebop and Rocksteady in Rise. This is very obviously a reference or a nod to the old villains, but I'm not sure if we'll actually ever officially meet them in this show. It's not the first time these guys have been referenced in Rise either. Who knows if we'll see them again, but hey, it was a cool little Easter egg. By the way guys, have a good Easter tomorrow. The Turtles are on the scene and see that Draxum is after Mystic Metal, which is definitely news to them. Of course, Draxum is now working side by side with the Foot. Their goal is to resurrect the Shredder with mystic armor pieces, some of which we've seen in previous episodes. We'll explain the entire Shredder backstory in just a little bit. Right after the Turtles confront Draxum, he takes the mystic metal into a portal and disappears. Is it me, or were the colors more vibrant than usual in this episode? The Turtles are perplexed over what Draxum's up to, but they come up with a plan to track down some more mystic metal before Draxum can get to it so they can meet him one-on-one and confront him on what he's actually up to. Back at the lair, April and Splinter are hanging out, and they're a big team in this episode. They actually make this episode together. Splinter sees that April is wearing the Foot logo as her new job is at the Foot secret headquarters, operating as a shoe store. This triggers some bad memories of stories Splinter has heard in the past. Splinter knows exactly who the Foot are, and exactly who the Shredder is. Splinter wants to investigate the Foot Shack, but April doesn't want to get herself fired from yet another job. Splinter gets in disguise and heads out. A hilarious scene was when the Turtles and Splinter were both doing things behind each other's backs while crossing paths in the sewer. They both thought that they fooled each other. The Turtles are on the streets looking for mystic metal, and a recently mutated bird decides that it wants to give them hell. The bird was kind of random, but we got right back to Splinter arriving at the Foot Shack. The whole concept of the Foot store cover-up is just hilarious, and seeing Splinter out and about in his cheap disguise is just insanely funny. Splinter is now Randall, an average, dabbing, fidget-spinning teenage boy. I haven't looked at the voice cast for this episode, but Rob Paulsen was definitely voicing this blonde kid. The Foot Brute and Lieutenant enter the scene, and I'm surprised they are actually bosses to all of the workers at the store. Rise just doesn't care. Mystical mutants are the norm. Splinter and April enter their secret base from the roof, and we finally get a backstory here. This is like what, our second backstory in all of Rise? And this one was epic. The Shredder was a demon banished 500 years ago by someone we don't yet know, but we can assume it was at least partly done by whoever this female warrior is, probably an ancient ancestor of Splinter's. The unnamed man who wore the armor, called the Koroi Yoroi, was swallowed by the armor, and the Shredder was born. Could this man have been Oroku Saki, or an entirely new character? Once defeated, the armor was scattered around the world, and Splinter's ancestors were in charge of making sure the pieces were all to never be gathered by the Foot. Splinter didn't believe this entire story, so he chose to pursue stardom and become Lujitsu. I don't know if Lujitsu is his actual name, I really don't think that it is. I think it was more the character that he kind of portrayed in real life and on film, but I have a funny feeling he was actually Hamato Yoshi originally. The entire sequence on Lujitsu was totally hilarious, but while Lujitsu was living the high life, the Foot were regrouping in an effort to reawaken their master. That's a pretty epic story, and this Shredder seems to be very similar to the one true Shredder from the 2003 series. Definitely check out my 2003 series Shredder video if you haven't seen it already. It's like a half-hour long because that's how long it takes to actually explain all of the different Shredders from that series. But we see some actual human foot soldiers here, which is a nice change from the paper soldiers, but apparently these guys were all found on an online ninja forum, so they're pretty pathetic fighters. Splinter steals a foot outfit from one of the soldiers and vows to never let the Shredder walk on Earth again, and then we got a commercial break. Splinter and the Foot arrive at a museum in search of the last piece of mystic armor needed to awaken the beast. April tagged along against Splinter's orders, but was actually a good distraction. Splinter found the armor piece, but the Turtles then bust into the museum since they had that piece of mystic armor on their radar. So now Splinter didn't just have to act like a foot soldier, but he had to hide all of this from his sons. Before he and his sons battle, he gave April the armor and she escaped, but Draxum found her on the subway. Now time for one of the best parts of this episode, Splinter vs. the Turtles. It was so funny hearing the Turtles make fun of Splinter in his foot outfit, not knowing who he actually was. They were really making him look like a fool until Splinter had enough and straight up whooped their asses. This was such an epic battle, and even with a bad back, Splinter made quick work of his 4 sons. Draxum then busts in with April and the armor piece. What was cool to see was Splinter being so surprised to see that his sons already knew who Draxum and the Foot were. Yeah, Splinter, they don't just sit around and watch TV all day like you. Splinter is revealed by Draxum, and then revealed to be actually Lujitsu. The Turtles are in shock, and the Foot are too, since Lujitsu is their idol. The Turtles then brawl out with Draxum and the Foot, and Raph got a nasty smash jitsu punch on Draxum, making him lose the armor, and it actually landed under a train, getting smashed. The Turtles and April and Splinter escape, and Splinter and the Turtles have a quick moment after what just happened. Splinter says that their destiny begins tomorrow, and they're already way behind. We then see the Foot and Draxum repairing the piece of armor, and then the lieutenant puts the piece into the armor, and it appears that the Shredder is back. What a cliffhanger to end off on. This is the final thing that we see. Wow, just wow. What an episode. There is so much to say, so much to digest. The Shredder is here, and he seems to be badass as hell. A demon-like Shredder being resurrected by the Foot. Although this is what most fans thought would happen after seeing those gauntlets throughout the season, it just seems so awesome seeing it come to fruition. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but the potential is definitely here, guys. The episodes following this one in chronological order don't seem to have anything to do with this story, so it looks like we're going to be waiting a while until another half-hour special so that we can continue the Shredder saga. We may not actually see the Shredder in action until the Season 1 finale. Splinter revealing that he is Lujitsu, well, having to reveal that he is Lujitsu, to his sons was really nice. It was kind of like the elephant in the room for us viewers while we're watching, so now it's nice to see that there's no more real secrets between Splinter and his sons. Hopefully this spawns a new type of relationship for them, no more secrets, and more teamwork. This episode was just all kinds of awesome. I don't even know what else to say right now because I just watched the episode a couple hours ago, and I'm kind of rushing this review out so it's current with you guys. And you guys want to talk about it in the comments down below, so where's it rank for you this season? Oh yeah, we definitely have a new #1 spot. This episode again just made watching all of these episodes worth it. All of those filler episodes, all the silliness, it's all worth it now. Although a little bit more time with the Turtles and their dialogue would have been nice, especially after they confronted Draxum and the Foot towards the end of the episode. Seeing Splinter with his new mindset was definitely something else, and it was awesome. If you know anyone that's on the fence about Rise of the TMNT, just tell them to watch the 4 half-hour specials that have aired so far, and I bet they'll want to see more, especially after watching this one. If they only want to give one episode a chance, this is definitely the episode to show them. Splinter is actually kind of close to what we know him as. Almost. Definitely let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments down below. I bet you all really enjoyed it. It doesn't seem like we have any new episodes coming up for at least a few weeks. We do have some titles, of course, but they're not airing for a while, so I'll make an update video when we get some official air dates. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out. The Shredder is here, baby.